A Bronx convenience store clerk recalled how a pair of shoplifting goons dragged him out onto the sidewalk and beat him unconscious before running off, leaving him bloodied on the ground. Sam Balfour, 63, was behind the counter at the mobile gas station mart where he's worked for 13 years when the two thugs walked in shortly after 12:30 a.m. Saturday to rob the store, he told the Post. "I didn't realize they were together," Balfour, still shaken from the assault, said Monday. "One of them came to the counter and asked me if I had Newports. I told him we don't have Newports." Meanwhile, the other guy was stealing from the fridge. Surveillance footage shows the second crook cleaning out the store's supply of Ensure from a freezer in the back, stuffing a backpack with the high-protein drink while Balfour was distracted. "When I saw that he was stealing, I tried to lock the door to protect my stock," the clerk said. "But I didn't realize the two men were together. One of them kicked the door to open it and they started pulling me out from the store. I grabbed the backpack and was trying to pull back," Balfour said. "And all of a sudden they pulled me all the way out, and one of them hit me in the neck and pulled the bag from me. I fell and hit my head on the concrete. I blacked out. The next thing I knew, I was at the hospital." The footage from the store captured the attack and shows what appears to be an employee at the shop and a second person checking on the unconscious clerk after the thieves flee. Balfour was taken to Montefiore Medical Center and was in stable condition. A hard-working native of Ghana, Balfour said he now suffers from dizzy spells and is plagued by pain in his head, neck and shoulder as a result of the cowardly attack. Photos released by the NYPD show one suspect wearing a Super Mario cap and a black t-shirt with a Game Boy logo, and the other with a black cap and a black long-sleeved shirt with a photo on the front. "It's not fair," he said. "These are young people. They can go to find a job. To steal from somebody's business, the business collapses and I don't have a job to feed my family. I try to protect my job, you know." He said Saturday's horror wasn't his first encounter with crooks at the store. "One time, about 8 months ago, a guy came and tried to take the whole register," Balfour said. "So I called the police. I wouldn't allow him. He was pulling on it and I was pulling back, and he ran away before the police got there," he added. Eventually they found him and arrested him. A stretch of Jackson Heights has deteriorated into an illegal migrant shopping district and unchecked, open-air market where everything from women to stolen goods can be had, the Post has learned. Roosevelt Avenue near 91st Street is littered daily with migrant vendors hawking goods they ripped off from shopkeepers just steps away, while prostitutes proposition passers-by at all hours and frustrated merchants and residents say they're helpless to do anything about it. "It's relentless," said Milton Reyes, who manages MI Farmacia Pharmacy on the avenue. "You should see it on Saturdays. It's so heavy, you can't even step onto the sidewalk. There are a lot of doctors' offices right around here and my customers don't even want to get dropped off." "I'm not faulting the police," Reyes added. "They will come by and they will pick up a few of them. But as soon as the police car pulls away, they start moving back. 20 minutes later, they're all set up again like nothing happened." Migrant peddlers lay out stolen merchandise for resale at a steep discount, with items as benign as mouthwash, diapers and baby formula spread out on blankets or beach towels right on the sidewalk. The ill-gotten goods are stored in suitcases packed into vans parked across the street, hauled out for display starting in the morning, with one crooked vendor even wheeling up the items inside a stolen Target shopping cart during one business day this week. They scattered when a reporter and photographer from the Post showed up, mistaking the news crew for police officers, but were back in business as soon as they passed. Sex workers openly cruise the street, as older madams sit nearby and point out potential Johns as they pass by. One law enforcement source blamed soft on crime laws that severely limit what cops can do and cut low-level, non-violent offenders loose once they get to court. Roosevelt Avenue is the microcosm, a perfect storm composed of lunatic legislation that prevents enforcement of laws and the subsequent punitive results, the source said. Add to that waves of people with nothing to lose and you have criminality and degradation in quality of life for the community and the city as a whole. Open-air prostitution has plagued sections of Roosevelt Avenue for months, with a seedy market of sweethearts thriving with sex for sale right on the street or inside a series of walk-up buildings now functioning as brothels. In January, cops moved in and shuttered a dozen of the bordellos for their illegal activity and unsanitary conditions, but it didn't stop the sleazy sex trade for long. In Jackson Heights, the hookers now share the landscape with shoplifting migrants who mob and ransack local retailers, then brazenly sell their stolen merchandise for 20% or 30% less just steps from the stores, retailers said. They are stealing, Francisco O'Orda, a security guard at Lot Less, told the Post. They rip it out of the box, but it's ours. You can see, it is brand new, but they are selling it as used. It's our stuff. They have been training people, said Orta, 55, of Long Island City. They have lookouts, people to yell so they can pick up and leave when police come. I am catching a lot of them stealing. I caught 20 people last week. 20 in 1 week. They are hurting business. Customers constantly complain, but shopkeepers' calls to 311 do little to stop the lawlessness. I don't know what's ever going to get rid of this, said one local who would only identify himself as Zoo H. It's like a sub-economy. Everybody buys from these guys. There was a few, mostly at night, kind of like a bazaar. About a year ago, it built up. But I thought, these people aren't getting the kind of opportunities. They need to feed themselves. They're trying to survive, so whatever he said. About a year ago, there's 5 of them starting at 10 in the morning. Then 10 of them, and then there's 20 of them all day. At night? Forget about it. It's just become normal, he added. New York City is losing drugstores as retail theft continues to surge. Gotham has logged 21,578 shoplifting complaints this year through May 12th, up 5% from the 20,552 thefts during the same period last year. Manhattan has seen 8,896 incidents of retail theft alone. Crime is so rampant, national chains like Target, CVS, and Walgreens are closing locations and tempering expansion plans. Target announced at the end of last year the closure of 9 stores across 4 states, including 1 in Harlem, due to theft. We cannot continue operating these stores because theft and organized retail crime are threatening the safety of our team and guests and contributing to unsustainable business performance, the company said. While shopping patterns have changed, with people making more purchases online, theft is a factor in chains closing up shop, said one Manhattan retail broker. The old loved drugstores and price-wise were 2,500 square foot stores that seemed to succeed years ago, said Big Apple retail broker Robin Abrams. Then they mostly closed as they could not compete with the 10,000 to 20,000 square foot Duane Reade, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid stores. Now we are over drugstored and these chains will operate less stores in smaller spaces. Joseph Jacalone, a retired NYPD sergeant and an adjunct professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice, said part of the problem was that politicians shrugged off retail theft instead of targeting it. Our politicians have told us shoplifting is not a problem, Jacalone said, and then all of a sudden we start seeing all these issues that are happening because many of these crimes have been downgraded by the politicians themselves. Eventually you got to pay the piper. Nice's once bustling Flatiron district now a wasteland of empty storefronts as rampant shoplifting wreaks havoc on iconic Navy. Retail theft, which the NYPD only recently added to its crime tracking CompStat reports, has nearly doubled in the city in the last 6 years. The number of incidents in Gotham steadily climbed from 32,254 complaints in 2017 to 37,922 incidents in 2019, before falling during the height of COVID-19 in 2020. From 2021 to 2023, citywide complaints increased again from 43,892 to 59,892 to 59,137. The climate has made it tough for big drugstores already in the midst of downsizing. Walgreens is on track to reduce its national footprint by roughly 200 stores in fiscal 2024, CEO Timothy Wentworth said in a call with analysts about the company's first quarter earnings. CVS announced plans in 2021 to shrink its national retail footprint by 900 stores, 300 each in 2022, 2023, and 2024. In the Big Apple, locations are shuttering, with drugstore companies forgoing some leases upon their expiration and putting other spaces up for sublease. In Manhattan, 5 former CVS outposts are on the market, according to broker Joanne Podell, who is handling the leasing of the spaces. Walgreens has 17 former stores on the market in Manhattan, per a list from real estate firms JLL and SRS. And Rite Aid is shuttering 53 additional stores in 9 states as part of the company's bankruptcy proceedings. That is on top of an initial list of 154 store closures. When you have a local drugstore, a local business closed down, you're also losing jobs, you are inconveniencing the residents, and it has a long-term impact on the quality of life of the community, Mayor Eric Adams said. 3 weeks before her local CVS closed for good at 2495 Broadway at West 93rd Street in February, Maria Kusser, 61, said she saw a guy scooping stuff from the shelves into his black duffel bag. Kusser was told the same man had hit the store 2 days earlier. And that wasn't the first time Kusser witnessed stealing at the store.